biggest trend that I see in social entrepreneurship is the shift from a kind of solitary, heroic, individualistic enterprise where the social impact is as good as the idea or the entrepreneur, towards a much more complicated, coordinated, joined up, or what in the language is called systems way of doing entrepreneurship.
For me personally, the obvious answer to this is around technology and the development of technology in terms of how it's advancing not only the work of social entrepreneurs, but the funders, different levels of stakeholders across the entirety of the market. And personally, I would say this will be the largest driver in terms of market development for the next decade or more.
Social entrepreneurship is increasingly becoming an embedded part of the global economy. But some of the big trends are that social entrepreneurs need to blend together a whole set of new skills that perhaps they didn't used to have to. So the first one of those is they need to bring much more systems level thinking to their work.
I love this question because I am a financing geek. I would say something that is evolving, not necessarily changing drastically, is the way that funders are engaging and using different types of capital to really make sure that social change, environmental change is being enabled.
There's a global transfer of wealth going on, the biggest that there's ever been in human history. That's from older people to younger people, and broadly from men to women. And that is leading to finance being more thoughtful about its purpose and its values, which creates potential pots of money for those doing important work like social entrepreneurs. And what's happening in and around that is real innovation in finance. Innovations like blended finance, which are trying to marry together the worlds of investment and the worlds of philanthropy to enable impact to go even further.
Funders are also recognizing that simply putting pressure on grantees or investees to perform according to their predetermined metrics may not be the best way to get the most impact out of these things.
Keep a really open mind. The world is changing very rapidly, and it used to be very clear what was the state, what was the market, and what was civic society. And it's just not as clear anymore. It's a bit fuzzy. But that also creates opportunities to do things differently. And it's not as if the old ways were always working very well.
Always be focused on the problem. Always be focused on the end user who you're really serving, and be in love with the problem. You need to be really resilient because you will arguably have the toughest job in the world, which is not only arguably creating healthy financial returns, but also generating really incredible impact.
And try to avoid the kind of classic mistakes that we know only too well from parallel sectors like development. Don't think that because you're smart and you are well educated, you can understand other people's problems. Make the effort to understand those problems and really to internalize them. Get close to the actors in the system, and in the end, be brave and do it.